This is Carly Hostetter with Advanced Reporting. Today I'm talking with Brandon Bland about the graphics behind the Catspys. Brandon is the Multimedia Specialist in the Marketing and Communications Department here at Northwest. Thank you for joining us, Brandon. So, first off, when are the Catspys?
As far as I'm concerned, at this moment, the Catspys are on March 31st, 2018, but there is a to be determined next to that because there may be a conflict with volleyball, them using the Bearcat Arena, so we're still waiting to hear specifically on when that will be.
Okay, and you're in charge of doing like the graphics and like the videos, right?
Correct.
So why is that? What do you do that you're in charge of that?
Well, during the Catspys, the process is that in order to give out awards, they kind of want something visual that will almost serve the purpose of introducing a certain team as opposed to just going up to the stage and saying, hey, now we're going to start giving out awards for football, basketball, blah, blah, blah. They would rather have something more visual that will engage the audience more or less. So I'm basically working on the videos that pretty much highlights that specific sport. Currently, I'm in the process of doing the intro and the outro of that highlight, therefore to give the audience more of a cue on when these videos will end, when they'll start, and kind of amp them up and get them ready for the actual highlight itself. So I'm in control of that, just making highlight reels for each individual sport to make sure that the audience is able to engage in the awards that's about to be handed
out. So what do you use? Like, what kind of softwares do you use to make these?
Well, in this process, there are multiple softwares that needed to be used. In this particular process, we have to use Photoshop in order to cut out the actual athletes because they're coming from photos. They were shot on seamless white, so it's easier for us to cut it out. So we use Photoshop to cut that out, and then we have to export it as a PNG file, which allows you to basically have a transparent background. And then we therefore bring it into After Effects, which is a program based solely for video editing as well as graphics, visual effects, if you will. So after we cut it out, we put it into After Effects, and then once we put it into After Effects, that's when we begin to put everything together. And we have to use green screen keying as well as different layers and 3D and everything else just to make a simple 5-second clip. So it's pretty intricate for something so simple.
Yeah. So you said that you use seamless whites for the pictures. Tell me about that process.
Basically, the process for athletes that we currently started doing for all of athletics or all sports is we bring them in and we put them on what's called seamless white. It's essentially a white sheet of paper that we put them on, and it allows us to take photos with flashes and everything else, cameras, longer lenses, whatever you so please to use. And what we do after that is we take those photos and we bring them into a program, much like Photoshop, etc., and we are able to cut them out. And once we cut them out, we have those for social media. And when I say social media, I mean game day graphics. If they're seniors, we use those for senior gifts. If they're just for like game cards, so when you want to see a roster, those come from that seamless white. So it's basically a process where we take multiple photos of different athletes in order to use it for different things. So it's basically working smarter, not harder.
Okay, so how do you come up with your ideas for the videos that'll be used?
Every video is different. Usually I look for inspiration as far as what other people have done, and sometimes I take that inspiration and say, okay, well, I like this idea, but I want to do it in a different way. This one particularly for the Catspy's was just so happened one of those things that just came out of nowhere. I've been thinking about it and thinking about it, and I couldn't come up with anything. But just one day, I just decided, hey, it'd be kind of cool to see, um, you know, Ed from football raise his hands even though it's a photo. And then it reminded me, hey, I know how to do that. So it was basically just a culmination of different ideas that I decided to put into one composition as opposed to um, doing each idea individually for something else. I just decided that now is the time to try and put everything into one place.
So what made you want to like start learning how to do like these kinds of graphics and stuff like After Effects?
Honestly, first thought was that I wanted to be able to do more than just one thing. I want to be able to do more than just take photos and shoot video. I want to be able to be like a one-stop shop, not necessarily for the sake of selling all of that product, but for me, if I were to be my own actor or whatever, what have you, I would be able to do that all in-house instead of having to pay other people. But now that I'm here at Northwest, it just has been a place of motivation. So I've constantly wanted to learn and grow, especially since the last time that I was here, I was actually graduating from here, and I didn't necessarily have the tools or resources afterward to expand my knowledge. But since I'm here and I have like a limited access, I wanted to expand my knowledge and get better at it, and it just allows you to have more depth in what you do as opposed to just shooting video, editing it together, and sending it out. I am now able to make graphics just like I did for like the basketball video board that sits on the floor. I'm able to do that. It just makes me a multiple, like a Renaissance man, if you will. So it works out.
So what do you think these graphics, these videos will add to the Catspy's?
Well, hopefully my plan and my hope is that they will not only add hype to the players, because at this point in time they get to see themselves on a big screen. They get to see themselves in front of their friends. They're not playing the sport, so they actually get to see that people were watching them or, recording video of them while they were actually doing the sport. And I think it just amps them up to make them feel appreciated. And then as far as the Catspy's itself goes, I hope that it will make more of a solidified experience, as in this will set the standard for them and they would expect this every single time, and it kind of becomes almost branding for the Catspy's themselves, just almost setting the standard for them, setting the standard for even if I don't do it next year, it just sets the standard. That way they're known for like these intro videos and they're always hyped for something cool next year or something that's going to top this next year. And that's just the hope, just for setting standards as well as getting the players hyped, showing them their hard work and showing them up on the big screen so they can brag in front of their friends and teammates.
So what else does your job entail?
Well, first off, my job is Multimedia Specialist, and what that is that I am for the branding and marketing for Northwest itself, as in my job is for recruitment, retention, and all of that, because at the end of the day, we're all about the students. But currently, my main client is athletics, so therefore, not only am I promoting Northwest to potential students and current students and past students or alumni, I am doing the same thing except for athletics, because I want to reach out also to the athletic students as well as the people that really enjoy athletics in the community, as well as the people that's graduated here but they want to still connect with the athletics. So they're my main clients. So aside from doing everything Northwest, I'm also able to dip into the realm of athletics and do their social media. And when I say social media, I don't necessarily mean posting on their behalf, but making promotional videos and media that's needed within that single realm. So it's pretty interesting going back and forth, because it allows you to get a fresh take, a fresh idea from one part of the job title to the next part of the job title. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, sounds like it. Okay, well,
hopefully the Catspys this year, hopefully is something that will basically boost the image of the Catspys as well as athletics, because I know it's something that's done every year, but necessarily they haven't had the exposure that they have wanted. So I'm hoping that these videos can kind of bring some type of exposure and get people talking about it at the end of the day, as opposed to just showing up and seeing these videos. I want people to be very wild about it.
Right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.